Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution Sunday, December the 5th, episode 32. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I know a lot of my friends were at card shows yesterday. Hope you enjoyed and found some good deals. I know my buddy Zach and Porter, I know they got some good deals. Saw some of their goodies from the Oak Creek show near Milwaukee. I did not attend any card shows. I did not uh, go retail hunting. I did that Friday, talked about it a little bit yesterday. But I did open a box of archives last night while watching Christmas Vacation. I showed off some of the highlights from that box. I picked up two blasters on Friday. Opened the first blaster on Friday afternoon. Pulled an auto, the Joe Carter auto, and then the hit from last night's blaster was a silver parallel, Jose Ramirez, numbered to 99. So a fun two blaster rip this weekend from Topps Archives. DR's in the house. He's on his way to a card show at the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. Very cool. I think my buddy John Newman is set up there as well. So have fun, get some good deals. Love it. Um, no card shows for me this weekend. And then maybe next Saturday I'll stop. What's up, Steph? Possibly next Saturday I'll stop into the card show in Rockford. I have a Club 400 Christmas party this coming Friday. Patrick Wisdom will be the guest. And what's really cool is it's like one of the star Cubs players, but it's a small event. Like there's only like 60 or 70 of us at the Club 400 Christmas party. So it's a more intimate event. Steph says it's early. It's late, man. It's 9 a.m. This is like the latest I ever go live. And what's funny is now that I'm doing cards and working from home, it's kind of the opposite. My morning schedule is kind of the opposite than what it used to be, where I would like Monday through Friday, I would like hate to wake up because I had to go to work. I had to go to the office. And then the weekends, I was up super early because I wanted to get to my cards. Now it's kind of in reverse. Monday through Friday, I'm up super early because I want to tackle the day, and then Saturday and Sunday, I'm actually sleeping in. It's a weird phenomenon, but here we are. Do you think Wisdom's a long-term piece, like 3 to 5 years for the Cubs? That's a great question because I don't know his contract status. I don't know how far he's locked in. Um, I think he could be a long-term piece. Is he going to be like the face of the franchise? No. Hopefully the Cubs, bring in somebody, a superstar. We lost three superstars, so hopefully we can replace and get a replacement superstar because there's not a superstar on the team anymore. Um, your biggest names now on the Chicago Cubs, Marcus Stroman, Kyle Hendricks in the rotation. And then for position players, it'd be Wilson Contreras, Ian Happ, Nico Horner. They're not stars. I wouldn't even consider them stars. They're just kind of there. So there's not like a Patrick Wisdom is like, well, Wilson Contreras is like the face of the Wilson and Kyle are like the face of the franchise, and then you've got Wisdom. So, and now Stroman. So hopefully the Cubs make a move, whether it be through free agency or a trade, and get and get a superstar bat, a star bat in the lineup. But I think Wisdom could be a longer term, and he could turn into an all-star. So we'll see. So that's Friday. So then I'll probably be imbibing in some adult beverages Friday night and be a little tired on Saturday morning. So we'll see how I feel. But I basically drive right by the card show in Rockford on my way. Actually, technically I don't because I always take back roads when I go to Club 400. I like it's about the same time, and I avoid at least one. I think I avoid two tolls by going. It's like $5, but hey, $5 adds up when you're going. So if I take interstate, I'll head right by the card show. So if I'm up for it, we'll see. It's game day. It's a game day decision. How do I feel Saturday morning? We'll see. Tom, what's up? Tom in Peoria is with us. I think Nico will be a star, but he needs to stay healthy. Yeah, he definitely has the potential. There's definitely a lot of star potential on the Cubs roster. Uh, just need to get it to that point. DR says, as a Sox fan, I think it's going to be real interesting to see how Nick Madrigal develops and takes steps with the Cubs. Yeah, the some of the pieces the Cubs received in trades from Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, Kimbrel, going to be very interesting to see how they come along. Like as you mentioned, Nick Madrigal coming off the injury, some prospects like Pete Crow Armstrong from the Mets, Alexander Canario from the Giants was a guy I had never heard of. I was it was the net when all these trades went down. I was walking around the National. I was when most of the news hit. I was at the Singles Club digging through dollar boxes, which is where I was most of the weekend at the National. So that's when I heard most of the news. The Chris Bryant news came a little later. I was digging through another bargain box, and somebody that was next to me got the alert on their phone, and they're like two prospects. I don't know their names, um, and then when the names came across, I think it was Caleb Killian and Alexander Canario, and I'm like, who are those guys? But Canario really, I mean, he raked when he went to South Bend. So the South Bend Cubs. So and then Kevin Alcantara, who came over from the Yankees in the Rizzo trade, and then of course the guys, the young kids that came over from San Diego in the Yu Darvish trade before the season. So um, some stuff to be excited about prospect wise in the Cubs system. Thank you for going live before church. Hey, you bet, you bet. So yesterday I did some shipping yesterday. I listed a few things. I did some mostly sorting. Was watching Christmas Vacation. And I had since I listed so many cards this week, um, kind of not sorted, not organized, which kind of slows me down when I'm doing the shipping. So I had to get that streamlined. So I was sorting and organizing. What I did do, and I talked about this in a previous episode on my organization. So football and basketball is organized by player last name. So A B C D, the alphabet. But as I add more and more, my M pile is starting, and it's taking a long time to find one card of Christian McCaffrey. So what I did was now I broke it down. My labels came from my label maker, so I could do the card dividers, which I need to put in order for tall dividers. So I broke it down to some of the letters that I had, a large amount: B's, M's, S's. So I broke it down to like BA, BE, BI, BR. So it'll make it a little easier to find, some of the players, especially like in basketball. I listed a whole bunch of like DeAndre Hunters. So I have a huge amount of H's. Most of them are DeAndre Hunters. So that's what I did last night. I was watching Christmas Vacation, which was actually it all kind of the day went full circle because in the morning, the thumbnail I used today, I saw that meme on Facebook on Facebook, and it really hit me. And I've seen it several times, but I think maybe because it's the holidays, you do a little more reflection. And so it really hit me yesterday morning when I saw this meme with the picture of the Sandlot kids, and it's like one day you're gonna all be together. You're gonna I'm paraphrasing the quote, but it's gonna be the last time. Like there's a day, and it could be this Christmas. And not to sound down or anything, but it could be the last time you sit down like as a family, whether it be you all move away or kids. I mean, what happens? I look back in my family history at Christmases, we all kind of lost touch at holidays because my sister had her own family, my brother has his own family, and so it's like you go to grandma's house, and you're a kid and your siblings and aunts and uncles, and it seems like a big thing, and then grandma passes away, and then all of a sudden it just kind of you kind of lose it. And like that's what happened in my family, and I know that happens in many other families. Sometimes there's a new matriarch that comes along, that takes the grandma role. But in many cases, once grandma passes, it just kind of you do your pockets, and my brother has his family Christmas, and my sister has her family Christmas, and we kind of went when my grandma passed away. We it was just a I grew up as an only child because my brothers and my siblings are much older, and they had already started families by the time I was, a kid. Um, so, we kind of my mom and dad and I, we kind of bounced around. We would go to my aunt's house, and that kind of became the tradition, but it wasn't like the new matriarch. She was the new Grandma Ruth. My Grandma Ruth was the matriarch, and she was the glue of the family. So after she passed, Aunt Tinker kind of took on that role, but it still wasn't the same because we still had different pockets, families grew. And so when I saw that meme, it's like, I started thinking back on like my childhood and some of my friends, and happy holidays to you, Matthew. Good morning. Um, I was fortunate to live in a small town, grow up in a small town, and going back, it's like, man, how did I ever live here? It's a double-edged sword because it can be there's bad sides to living in a small town. There's great sides to living in a small town, and overall, I think it was a great experience, and it was an even better experience moving away, experiencing real world and diversity, and realizing that it's not just you know people that are just like you in every sense of the word. So, but growing up in a small town, yeah, there's a lot of positives in doing so, and one of which was, you know, growing up in the 80s and the 90s in a small town. It's like come home when the street lights come on. And that was a thing. And this was before cell phones, but if the street lights came on and you weren't home, mom knew where to look. There were a couple spots to look, and if she couldn't find you there, she'd call your friend's mom, and oh no, they went over to so and so's to trade baseball cards or whatever. So running around, we did Sandlot. This was I grew up in anybody that's around my age, and I'm gonna be 40 soon. I think probably like 36 to 44, kind of in that like age range. We kind of grew up with video games. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of all over the place, but video games, we grew up with video games. I had my Nintendo NES console. I got in second grade, but it was a little. I was kind of late. I was late to all the console. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I was kind of late to getting the video game system. So I had a Nintendo in second grade, which I don't know how old you are in second grade. I don't know what year that would have been. I can probably do the math. Let's see, probably would have been like 1989. Um, and Steph says 34 too. Yeah. So in second grade, I was a little late to the game, but I got my Nintendo console, and then some of my friends were getting Sega Genesis around I don't know fifth grade, maybe sixth grade, and then the PlayStation came out like in high school, and I know if you're a little younger, there's the newer generations and in that. So, but when I was playing Sandlot, we played Sandlot baseball back in the late 80s and the early 90s. We had Nintendo and we would go play, but it wasn't like I had some friends who were like big, they had like little younger siblings who were probably Steph's age, and they were more into games. Like I feel like at least where I grew up, my friends, we played video games, but it wasn't like we were never gamers. Like we didn't get into like the we played Super Mario Brothers just for the hell of it. It was fun. But we didn't want to save the princess every time we played. We wouldn't play it for hours. Although sometimes if we had like a birthday party and we had pizza and we were jacked up on Mountain Dew, we'd stay up till 3 a.m. playing Blades of Steel or Double Dribble. What else? Our Super Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl. That was the big one. We'd have tournaments. That was kind of the one game where we would just have tournaments, and play. And I see this meme. I'm going to circle back to the meme, the Sandlot meme. It's like there's a point. There was a point where we all got together like as a group of friends, and we played Super Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl for the last time as a group. And you never realize it at the time. You just think it's going to last forever. And really every age, whether it's you're a kid at 10 years old in 1990, 91, 92, playing Tecmo Super Bowl for the last time as a group of friends, or high school, um, or college, even into adulthood. And then you take a look at that from a family perspective, and you may sit down with grandma for the last time this Christmas, as morbid as that sounds, and you just try to make the most of it, make the best of it. So that was my reflection yesterday. It really hit home, and I started to think about my childhood and my group of friends, and we played a lot of Sandlot. We didn't play as much Sandlot baseball. Like when I was real young, like we played some Sandlot baseball. There's like houses on the property now, but we had like basically a Sandlot right in the middle of town. It was where like the high school was way back in the day, and I think they tore it down in the '70s, and it was just a big empty lot. There was a big oak tree in the corner of the lot, so that was like home plate. We had our own backstop with the huge trunk of the tree, and we would play on that lot, and then they ruined it by building a house. And I think now there's like it used to be one big empty lot. Now it's just houses on the whole block. And we go out to the baseball diamond, and play next to the water tower. There was kind of we played more football there than baseball, but um, we played a lot of Sandlot football and basketball. Like in basketball, that was kind of I talked about this, where the early '90s is when I really took on to basketball, and when it comes to the hobby, basketball card collecting, around '92, because I was a huge when Shaq came into the NBA, I became a huge Shaquille O'Neal fan. So we would, and I had some friends, and we were all hoop heads, and not poop heads. We were hoop heads, and so we would play. My friend Seth lived like there was like a field of trees between my house and his house, but like you can see it from his front window, my back window. So if I could look out my backyard and see if Seth was outside playing hoops, and so I'd run over, and we'd play like best of seven, his court, my court, and like game one and two were on Seth's court, and then we'd go back for a 3-game set on my driveway, and then back to his for game 6 and 7, playing one on one. So, I think about that, and it's like there was a point in time where we did that for the last time, and you don't realize it. Like you just think you go home and you're gonna come back and you're gonna play it again, but there's a day where you play that basketball game for the last time. And so that hit me really hard. And I think it was because of the holidays, and you start to reminisce and think back on, family that is no longer with you, and friends that are no longer with you. And so it really hit me. And I didn't have anything to talk about today. And so when I saw that meme, it's like, I'm gonna get reflective here and talk about that. Low Roller says, don't forget the internet. It is AOL Instant Messenger. People go Yahoo adult chat room all the time. So yeah, and I grew up. I think I didn't really grow up with the internet because the internet didn't come along. I don't remember the internet. I don't think I logged on to the internet for the first time until I was in like 8th grade. So I didn't really grow up with the internet. You know, my friend my friend Scott, his mom worked for the telephone company. So they were like the first he was like the first person I knew that had the internet. Um and I think it was 8th grade when he got the internet. And then my the first internet when I had the first when I had the internet for the first time, I think I was a sophomore or junior in high school. And I had web TV. It didn't even have a computer. I think my first computer came when I was a senior in high school. We got the not Dell, not Gateway. Got a Gateway computer my junior or senior year. I think it was my junior year, Christmas, my junior year. So I would have it for my senior year of high school. So I didn't really grow up with the internet because it came along so late in my childhood. Steph said we had Duck Hunt and Mario at daycare, bought SNES Easter 92. See, I was a Sega. I was Nintendo NES and then Sega and then PlayStation. I never got into the Xbox. And I never had anything. I think the newest, I think PlayStation, the original PlayStation was the last console I've owned. Because I never got into Xbox and I never had a PlayStation 2, 3, 4. I think there's a 5 now. Never bought any of those. You know, I don't think I've played a video game in 10 years at least. Um, Outside of my friend's arcade game where I play NBA Jam. You play Atari games. No, I haven't played Atari, and my friend Blake had an Atari when we were kids, and so we got it out just for fun, like a birthday party when in like 5th grade, 4th grade. That's probably the last time. I mean, it's probably been 25 years since I played Atari. And it sucked because I think by that time, like Sega was already popular, and so it's like you're going from the 8-bit Nintendo to the 16-bit Sega, and now we're going back to the Atari, and it's like Pong, and it's like, man, these games suck. So that was the last time I think I played Atari. Was in like 5th grade at a birthday party. So, and I also thought about Christmas Vacation. I was watching Christmas Vacation last night. Um, and I watched it actually twice. It's a great background during the holidays. It's great background if you're sorting cards. I love background stuff because I have a short attention span when it comes to TV. So I'm watching Christmas Vacation and sorting cards, and I got to thinking like it's a timeless classic. Like you can relate, especially if you grew up with it, like because it came out right in my formative years, like that I'm talking about with Nintendo and Sandlot, football, baseball, basketball. It came out in 1989, and I'm thinking it's so timeless. Uh, but there's no cell phones. There's nobody's on the internet because it wasn't even I think it had maybe been invented, but it wasn't like in homes. It wasn't for public consumption, I guess. It was like the early um, chat rooms or whatever, the early internet. Um, so, and I got to think, it's like it's timeless, yet it's not. Like if you really think about it, but it just works. Like in today, like I think somebody who grew up with computers and the internet and cell phones can still relate to Christmas Vacation. I don't know. I would be curious, like, to ask a 20-year-old, you know, what they think of Christmas Vacation. Um, do they have the attention span to watch it without getting on their phones, without getting on the internet? So I just thought about that. It's like, man, it's so timeless, yet it's really not. But we've grown up with it for 30 plus years now. So that's really all I had today. I just wanted to reflect. Um, so kind of a crappy show. I apologize, but just wanted a little reflection. It hit me a little. It hit me a little harder yesterday because of I think the timing. I think the holidays kind of brings out the reflection in us, and it really makes you think. Like, you know what? This could be the last Christmas where someone we're close to is with us, or you know go out to dinner for the last time with somebody, um, and not just for morbid reasons, but maybe they move. Maybe your best friends, you're all hanging out next week. They get a call that they've been relocated for work or they're moving, and you may not see them for several years or whatever it may be. Anyway, on the docket today, no card show for me, but I'm going to be shipping get some more catch up to do on shipping. I hope to get some Cubs counted tonight. I'm still at like officially 715,000, but that counts actually above 730,000, and I need to get these counted before I forget, because I still haven't counted added to the count the Chicago Spectacular cards. So there's the 10,000 I got from the Santa Claus collector. There was an 800 count box I bought. Some of the dime box. I've got a flat rate box from Joseph that came. Eric sent me a box. Josh sent me a box. So I've got a ton of cards, Cubs cards to count and get added to that update. Oh, working on speaking of updates, working on redesigning my website, 1millioncubs.com. Um, hopefully in the next couple days I'll have like some options to choose from, and have that ready to go here. And I'll be updating it more once I get the redesign. I know this is bad. I should be adding content to it regularly, no matter what I think of my current design. But it's just it's in a state of like, and I'm listing cards, and it's kind of on the back burner. But once I get the redesign, hopefully it's a little more streamlined for consumption. When you visit the site, it's a little easier to find things and navigate. So hopefully in the next few weeks we can have that, and I'll start adding more content to the website. 1millioncubs.com eBay store link is on that site as well. 1millioncubs.com direct link 99centcards.com. Added soccer color that I don't know where they came from. They came in one of my bulk pickups over the last month, but there were some Topps chrome pink refractors. I think that's what I added last night. And I added some basketball prisms this morning as my coffee was brewing. So just some random. It's kind of what I do, like at night on the couch in the morning while the coffee's brewing. I'll just add a dozen cards on eBay. Outside of the file exchange updates that I do tomorrow. I don't know. I think I'm still working on football. I'm just gonna go through boxes now. And that seems to be the most productive for me, as far as the massive uploads through file exchange, is just picking out a box and going through and by sport. And so I've been working on that football box, and it is football season, so I can get all of those added into the eBay store, and then I don't know whatever box I pull out next. We'll see. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chatting. Have a great Sunday. And this coming week, so the schedule for this week, Monday through Friday, as always, 7 a.m. Central. There will not be a show next Saturday morning as I'll be out of town. And then Sunday morning, I'll be back next Sunday morning. So next Sunday morning, I'll recap the Club 400 Christmas party with Patrick Wisdom, and a card show review if I make a stop at the Rockford show on my home Saturday. So that's the schedule for this week. So have a great Sunday. Enjoy your day. Go football team, whoever you're rooting for, and we'll chat tomorrow.